Am I about to hear myself? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not. Cool. Okay, everything seems to be working. That's good. So, I guess, how many people have we got here? Just so that I don't end up having to, like, repeat myself with, stuff. Let's see. Yes, I can stretch it. Okay, so I think the stickers down here are pretty self-explanatory. vCore readout, memory readout, back of GPU core. This is going to be measuring the actual LN2 pot temperature because that's the fastest thermometer I have. Which, it's really a multimeter, not a thermometer, but it's really, really fast, so works for me. What else is there? There's the 1080 Ti. Oh yeah, and you might notice these are like they're split shots down here. So yeah, it's gonna look a bit weird whenever I reach over the system. So oh yeah, we also have current readout right here, which this turned off. So, and I'm not sure how legible that is. And also, let's just zero it out there. So that's going to be current readout. I'm probably going to drop the power the cable extensions depending on how much this ends up reading, because these might. Well, actually no. There's 5 milliohm shunts on the end of those, so that's going to be worse than any of the cable. But yeah, 1080 Ti. There's a 7940X in it. I guess let's fire it up. So, yeah, this thing's quite the mess. Wait, actually, let's see if I can get a studio mode. If I can get a shot that isn't, like, camera plus camera. Oh, that's perfect. Bam. See? Mess. Yeah, so that's, like, kind of the setup. You can kind of see some of the orange on the card over here, but, yeah, I'll probably do a video that's, like... That takes a look at the card, like just talking about how the session went, if I do another session. And today we will be running the CPU on water cooling, just because I don't want to have to, like, I don't know where the card maxes out, so there's no point running the 7940X cold, because if I screw up with the card, then I've just wasted a ton of LN2 on the CPU, and it just doesn't make sense to do that. So, there we go. We're back. Let's fire this up and load up an OC profile. We're going to be benching just Firestrike. Like, I don't really feel like doing any other benchmarks. I'm like the worst overclocker out there. Everybody else is like, they'll bench all the things, and I'm just like, Firestrike, Cinebench, and Geekbench, maybe. But, you know. Need to catch the BIOS. I'll go, like, we'll see if I put the CPU cold anytime soon. We're not in the BIOS, idiot. New ePower? I've not yet tested it at all. Like, it's on my, like, list of videos to do. I have a very big list of things to do for videos. I'm pretty sure this is max memmed, so we should be able to just run 4.95 good meme. Are you kidding me? Is the capture card not working? Wait, am I even on the capture card? Oh, right, because the capture card was being a pain, it's not plugged in! No wonder nobody can see anything. Completely forgot about it. Where's the... Why do I have so many cables? That's, yeah, okay, that's capture card. So we're gonna need to unplug you. Plug you in. Hop. Pull this through. plug that into... Where'd it go? I just found it. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, you gotta be joking. Come back, you... No. Yes. Ta-da! Capture card. Actually, I'm not sure that it was the capture card's fault that I was having the issues I was having, but let's just load up that profile and let's see what that does. Yeah, okay, that's safe and easy. It's not super aggressive, so yeah. And I'm gonna drop the BCLK overclock just because it makes the board behave a bit weird. And I don't really care for that. What's the temps like? We're fine. That's a bit high. 3.8. Everything's good. Hopefully this will boot. It's B-die. You can shove as much voltage into it as you want. Like, the only reason why we don't why I don't recommend more voltage for daily is because like the DRAM manufacturers at least test up to 1.5 volts, but past that there's just like no information. And then with like B-die, it's like some people have had it randomly die above basically 1.7 volts, where it's not like it degrades, it just stops working. And some of the other memory chips, there's not enough data for those. So, yeah. But normally, like my bench rig, these memory sticks that I've run them on basically 1.9 volts exclusively. So, yeah. They've not died yet. And apparently I don't have max mem. Cool, that's awesome. So I'm gonna have to save, yeah, okay, wait, I'll take care of the maximum situation first. It's missing maxmem, that's why. Also, there's no liquid metal on the CPU just because if I do want to run it on LN2, then that's going to be a pain. There. Let's do that. Actually, we can bench with those settings already. Oh. There we go. So apparently I don't have maxmem, which is fine, we can set that up. This is a fresh install of Windows, so I'm not really surprised that that's missing. Will continue to stand. Actually, now it'll fall over because I partially untangled it. Eventually it'll come down. Windows, get a move on! You're on an SSD. Fine! Oh, I know. I know why. I raised the Encore clock. Shouldn't have done that. The Encore is not worth it. Let's go with that. That has to work. Actually, that's GTX 480 with an LN2 pod on it. Let the core hit 100 and put water and try to make tea in it. That sounds fun. Like, really stupid. But fun in some ways. Fine, I'll clear the bloody BIOS. This... Now the GPU's hitting 40s, so I'm gonna need to pull it down a bit. Maybe I should switch back over to the more recent BIOS. That one might have better profiles on it. Because right now we're on like the extreme overclocking BIOS. That actually might be a good idea. For the motherboard's on an extreme overclocking BIOS, not the GPU. The GPU's on whatever it came with. How do you calculate power consumption for your components? That I'm not going to answer on a live stream. Well, board is being stupid, so let's use the 3-way BIOS switch and fire up again. So hot. Oh, damn it, I'm gonna need something to... Okay, right, we're good. Does this also have some random profile on it? This is what I get for only checking that the GPU works before starting the live stream. Everything was at stock and I just checked that the card ran. Firestrike. That was all I did. This is what I get for doing that. So I've never eaten ramen, so I don't know how hot it needs to get to like cook it. Okay. This BIOS works. Yay. What profiles do we have? Please tell me some idiot saved. Yes! Yes! Okay, so we actually have decent profiles on this. Which one, though? Let's see what this one does. 48. Yeah, that looks reasonable. We're just going to cut the BCLK off of this one and it should work. 100. There. Oh wait, the memory's still. I left the memory clock. Good job, me. This is why GPU benchmarking is like considered hard, like, well, not this. This is me being an idiot, but this is generally why like 3D benchmarks are considered harder than 2D benchmarks, because it's not enough that you're good at running your GPU. You have to have a CPU that's like your CPU is also important. So you can't just carry yourself to first place on GPU firepower alone. This should have maximum though. Like this should totally have maximum on it. There! Yeah, okay, see? Let's see how much memory we have accessible. Yeah, this is max-memmed. It's a 5 gigs. What the hell? Okay, well, let's start working on this GPU. So, on the reading I've done with 1080 Ti's, the recommendations from like EVGA who make the Kingpin edition is that you pull down to like -20 to -40, bench there for a bit, then pull down to like -80, bench there. So we're gonna go step by step downwards. I've already checked that like temperature-wise everything is good and fine, and I've realized I don't have enough space on the desk for the mouse. Let's just get GPU-Z opened up, 3D Mark. No, not the NVIDIA drivers, I wanted MSI Afterburner. No, screw yourselves. Benchmarks, Fire Strike. Bam! Screw you. There. I don't need to worry about the power limit because card thinks it's pulling 16% all the time. So, let's pull down first. And I'm not going to raise the core voltage, we're just going to go straight down and see what it does. Oh, this thermometer is so nice. So quick. Can you even read it in the... It's kind of legible. If I can kind of read it, you guys can read it better, because I, like, my live stream window is not at 1080p. Am I even pushing 1080p? I don't know. I don't really care. Why is there an AMD fan on the Mobo? Because it's just to provide airflow around, like, the memory and stuff. So, yeah, you can see, so this is measuring, like, the back of the core. So that's the thermal pluro by, like, plasti dipped into place, and you can see how that's at, like, 21. That's at 9, and if we check the GPU temperature, it's actually at 10. So this tends to read, like, this one reads a bit high, and this one reads a bit low. Because that's at 9. That's at 7. I'm going to need to refill. Not really giving myself that much on the first fill up, so... Go. What are we at? -4, 5. Once we hit -20, I'll actually, like, glaze it so that it doesn't keep going so freaking slow. Oh, actually, I need to wait for this to boil off. That's interesting. Afterburner actually reads negative. Though that's reading lower than the LN2 pod is now, so that's wrong. Okay. And now it should speed up a bit. So I'll pull it down to -30. Yeah. That's a lot better. Yeah, way faster now. Also, this temperature probe is awesome. I mean, the multimeter is. I gotta be honest with you, for thermal performance, I prefer the Raptor, except this has the 8-point NVIDIA mounting bracket, whereas the Raptor only goes to, like, 4 points. So this should have a more secure attachment to the GPU, and this will probably, like, if we end up running full pot, I don't care about, like, the thermal performance difference between these two. But if we were benching around, like, -120, then I'd actually want to be on the Raptor, just because that glaze is easier and like, it's just, in my opinion, thermally, it's a better LN2 pot. So, this thing normally is absolutely junk. Let's see if we can run that. Actually, I think we might have a minor issue with the... Let's keep that at 0 for now, because I want to check what it boosts to. Okay. Plus... So we could do like plus 200 maybe? Yeah, let's go for plus 200. Yeah. 280. Okay. 3. Okay, that would be more than the card's ever run before. Let's hit it with Fire Strike. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's the only issue with it. It turns off without warning. I overshot that. Well, it's stable though. You can see how there's no LLC whatsoever, which is great. I mean, there's like 10 millivolts. Lovely. Yeah, I really overshot it. We're at minus 50. I'm gonna grab another thermos and fill that up. This is gonna get thirsty once I start raising the core volts, so I'll need a second one anyway. Minus 42, minus 16 on the back. So the core's probably around like minus 30 right now, because there's like minus 20 on the back, minus 40. GPU. This is running really slow. I should be getting like 120 FPS here. Does this perhaps not have hyperthreading running on? Let's see combined. Hit it with this one. I wonder what kind of temperature readings. So, GPU temperature. Yeah, looks like I'm correct. It's really like the temperature, it's like the core temperature is roughly between these two. So that's nice. Okay, so minus 40 works. I want to do a 1-2 skip a few. Let's do a minus 100. I don't really like fluffing, like, faffing around at like really high temperatures. It's bloody pointless. So let's go to minus 100 and see if we can run like 2300 core. Man, that VRM heatsink is gonna be doing great. We're not currently running the 600 kilohertz switching frequency on the VRM yet, so I'm saving that for later, because I honestly don't know what it's going to do to the VRM when we go under like full load. Because it will, like, it definitely will send the VRM efficiency to hell, so I don't know how hot it'll get. And I don't really want to run the risk of burning out the high sides. Actually, since the high side here is part of the same package as the low side, it'll blow the whole phase up. If it goes. So, that won't be good. It shouldn't go, though. Like, this is a surprisingly solid VRM for NVIDIA reference card standards. So actually, they've really like, that's one thing. NVIDIA has recently really upped their reference card, like, build quality. Like, the leaked 2080 PCB is actually, like, that looks really solid. And the Titan V PCB is just great. Here we go, we're going to be at a minus 100. Lovely. So, I want more voltage. I'm going to go for 1.2. There we go. And let's see if we can run plus 400. I think it'll do plus 400. Yeah, no problem. So that's just 2176, but... See, the card sucks on ambient, so I'm going to take it slow. And the GPU temperature seems to be well and good, like, bugged out at this point, so that's nice. This is basically empty, but I do have the second thermos. Run. I wonder how much power it's going to pull. Doing 6 amps right now, just loading the benchmark. I actually want to read these myself, so... $30 amps? Roughly. Yeah, so it's really not pulling that much. Probably around minus 75 right now. Oops. Damn it. The hell? This multimeter is so good. It just sucks that it's like 400 quid. Oh, I know why physics was slow. We have Afterburner and GPU-Z running. Yeah, so 27 to... Yeah, it's really not pulling that much power. Admittedly, we're not, like, up there yet. Like, 1080 Ti's apparently max out around 1.5 to 1.6 volts. So, we got a ways to go before this thing starts spitting fire. Yeah, see, the 2990WX, what I'm most interested in is how it would do in 3D Mark Firestrike physics with hyperthreading turned off. Because this runs on 32 threads. Only 32 threads. So, you know, it's like a perfect fit. 32 real cores for a 32 thread benchmark. Hair's fallen over. There. I know that it's terrible in most things gaming, but like the 2950X and the 1950X, which you wouldn't really expect, are both really good at 3D Mark 11 physics. Whereas like, so it's like 2990X might be good at Firestrike. Because the thing is, 3D Mark, like their benchmarks are actually really well optimized. Like, everything sucks with quad GPU except 3D Mark. 3D Mark with quad GPU is great. But games absolutely suck with it. So, you know, you'd be hoping that it would be similar for a ridiculous CPU like a 2990. I'm gonna break 30k Fire Strike, no problem with this. Why is my combined so low? I don't get this. Like, for some reason, whenever well, whatever. I don't care. Just gonna beat it with raw clock speed. So I guess let's go up another something. Megahertz, what's it gonna boost to now? It's gonna boost to 2200. That's low. Let's go for 2300. 2250. Is it being stupid? 545? 2300. Cool, that's what we're going to run with. This is empty. This is really not that hot, though. I mean, we are at low voltage right now, but it's really not pulling that much power. Also, keep in mind that, like, this card doesn't pull any of its power from the PCIe slot anymore. So we are seeing all of the power the card is using because it doesn't have the PCIe slot 12 volt pins anymore. So, yeah, like the whole card really is just pulling like a little over 300. So I guess let's go for a pass. This is too easy. It's like, as much as I am an NVIDIA hater, it's much easier to bench NVIDIA cards. Right now, it says in the system specs what memory we're on. I mean, it's running at like, oh, okay, so it won't pass that. Cool. So, we're just gonna bump up the V-core. Because that's the way we go. And that's what the shirt says to do. Just raise V-core. So that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing. That should work. What are we at? We're at minus 90. Wait. Yeah, it's still boosting properly. No. Run. Yeah, I know we need. It needs more cold. I've just started like 30 minutes ago. I'm just making sure that I'm not crazy. This card is junk. Okay, well, let's see if we're gonna take 20 degrees off and see what happens. Actually, let's take 30 off. I'm happy with that. Yeah, okay, so minus 30 it'll pass. We're pulling a little over 30 amps. 34. Whoa, this thing gets thirsty. And it crashed. And that just so happens to be like the heaviest part of the benchmark, so I'm gonna assume we just need to attach more V-core. You know what, let's screw it. Because we're almost at full pot anyway. I want to figure out if it'll run full pot at all. And I will bump up the V-core just so I can run the render test. Up. Start render. Minus 147. If I'm lucky, this won't have a cold bug. And that'll make this really, really easy to do because I won't have to worry about the temperatures. How much are we pulling? Just check that that doesn't shut down. Pulling 20 amps in the render test. Yeah, we're hitting full pot very, very soon. Damn that noise. Seems that I got really lucky with this card. At least it runs. Yeah, we're at full pot. Lovely, awesome. This is gonna make my life so much easier. Empty 1, empty 2, and now we can run Fire Strike the easy way. Yeah, like that transition going from like full, like, you know, benching empty to full pot, that noise it makes is awesome. Wait, this one's empty now. I can walk away and refill while it's running. It's great. Love that. Okay, so that's really good. So when I bench the 7940X, like I won't need to worry about controlling the GPU temperature. If benching Vega was this easy. Actually, Vega would probably run full pot if it wasn't for AMD's stupid software. It's like 30 amp. Yeah, it's doing like 32 amps. That's impressive. If I hold up my hand to it, then it's a bit more legible. It's crazy how big a temperature delta there is between like the back of the core and the LN2 pot. But that's actually completely normal because like there's heat from like all the memory chips and all of the VRMs going into that area, so basically like any heat from the LN2 pot has to get through the core first, and the core is obviously producing heat, so. Oh, it ran empty. Whoops. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna hit it with 1.4 next and see what happens. Yeah, I don't like Windows 10 for benchmarking, but I like fixing, like, dealing with the Windows 7 compatibility on new platforms is even less fun. So we're on Windows 10 for this. $29K. Why is the combined so garbage? Just gonna check the CPU settings. I don't think we lost a memory channel, so I don't know what the hell. Oh, we're at 40. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was expecting like 35K CPU score, but we're down 100 megahertz. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. That makes sense. More voltage. It's going empty again. See, at this point, I wish it was just hooked up to through a tube to the D-War. $1.35. Let's see if we can pass 2400 at that. Oh my god, 40 amps! Damn! Man, this thing chugs! I'm starting to feel bad about, like, not doing NVIDIA so much. Man, those temperature swings on the back of the core probe are insane. Like, that thing is just flying up and down. Have you investigated backend differences between Windows 7 and Windows 10? No. Like, I care very little for the software side of extreme overclocking, so I just run whatever OS works at the time that I decide to run. So it's like I benched Cinebench on Windows 10. Why? Because the Windows 7 install didn't want to work, and I couldn't be bothered to get a working one at the time. So, yeah, I'm not really that interested in the, like, figuring out which OS to run on and that. I like the hardware side. You know, modding cards, raising clocks, burning tons of power, that's the fun part. Worrying about why Windows is scoring really badly? Nah. Whoops. Damn it. Sitting cross-legged and fell over. Tried to get up. I'm not drunk. I'm just really, really uncoordinated. And kind of tired. Because I've been at this like since the beginning of the day. Speaking of software, LOD, I can't be bothered. Like, I've decided I want to actually upload this to like the 3D Mark Hall of Fame, as well as Hardware Bot, and it's just like 3D Mark Hall of Fame, they don't take LOD scores anyway, and Hardware Bot is like, I'm pretty sure my score is going to be high enough regardless. So, which one of you? This one's empty, so I'll refill this one and gonna go for another pass. I'm pretty sure we can bump up the memory clock. Micron memory chips tend to scale with cold. Yeah, I want a bit more core clock as well. It's pretty obvious which one of them crashes anyway. I wonder how hot that VRM heatsink is getting. I was really worried that like the VRM would freeze through, especially because what I ran into when plasti dipping the card is that the stock thermal pads this came with were loaded with silicone oil, and so the VRM is just completely soaked in it, like several layers deep, and it looks like we need more VCore. So when I tried to plasti dip it, basically the silicone oil acted kind of like a mold release. And so, like, the plasti dip dried off, and then you could just peel it right off. Like, it didn't, like, wasn't holding whatsoever to the VCore VRM, so right now the only thing stopping that from freezing over is the thermal pad sitting on top of it, and the heat it generates. So, let's hope that's enough. 1.4. Here we go. I kind of want to switch it into high VRM switching frequency. We can do that later. How old am I? I'm 21 as of a couple days ago. Is it a couple days ago? Yeah, couple days, well, 6 days ago. Funnily enough, Threadripper launched on my birthday. I didn't get a Threadripper 2, well, Threadripper 2 launched on my birthday. I didn't get one. Anyway, I did at least get to read a whole bunch of Threadripper 2 reviews, though. So that counts for something. We need more VCore. I really want to hit that high VRM switching frequency switch. I actually put like I wrote labels next to it onto the PCB. You'll get to see them when I do like a video talking about the card like about the session, like I did for the 7970. Hopefully it passes now. It might be crashing because of memory. Might be, but normally when it like insta crashes, it's core on this card. The memory will tend to like finish all of GT1 and then blow up in GT2 if it's unstable. And we're beyond the measurement range. 46 amps. Nice. So what's it pulling? It's pulling like 600 watts. How's that VRM heatsink doing? It's nice and cool still. And it just crashed again. Okay, so we're going to engage high-speed VRM mode. Save that. Restart. Oh no, I don't want to restart. I want it to shut down. Because I'm not actually, like, sure if it's okay to change the switching frequency while the card is running. There. So now we're in very low VRM efficiency. 600 kilohertz, here we go. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I can get the camera just close enough, because this one's a bit better than my normal one. So, where is it? Eh? No, will it? There's no light down there. Well, whatever. And the motherboard is doing its thing with throwing an FF code. So we're going to have to just hold this down for a bit. So the theory behind like running the VRM at 600 kilohertz is that it should help with the transient response. So with big current swings, it should have less issues. The motherboard's being stupid again. And it's working, I think, now. Yes, it is. Cool. Yeah. And we ran out of LN2 again. So we might be able to pass at like the current settings just by cranking up the switching frequency. So what I ran down there is process, what's it called? Process lasso, and it's set to be real-time priority for 3D Mark Firestrike. It helps the scores about 1,000 points. So let's run. Let's make sure this doesn't turn off again. Okay, VRM efficiency should now be an absolute hell. I want to know how hot it gets. Not really getting that hot. Oh? It might make it. Oh, damn, yeah, so we are drooping quite a bit now. But that's just because, like, it's impossible to fully remove the load line unless you, like, solder right across 2 of the pins right at the voltage controller. And if you've seen the video, like, if you know anything about soldering, you know mine is terrible. So, I'm not going anywhere, like, I very specifically avoid trying to solder directly onto pins of anything. Yeah, so 600 kilohertz switching frequency and suddenly it runs. Poor VRM though. Yeah, Flux, yeah, I know about Flux. I'd have to buy some. Still, like, I've been planning on buying some for like ages and ages, except I keep buying like crappy motherboards for testing, and it's just like, well, there's no money left to buy Flux if I want to pay rent or something. Yay, so it passed. Good little pile of garbage. And physics is running less than great. I need to bump down the core voltage a bit. It's getting really hot for 4.8 gigahertz. I have a P.O. box. Yeah, no, right now, like, depending on if the 2080 Ti is way too expensive, I'm buying Flux. Let's put it that way. As well as a hot air station, so... I'm just gonna ram more V-Core into it. The limiter is set to like 1.7, so... Let's try that and go plus 674. This should break 30K at this point. Any future plans for working together with Steve on more projects? Do you guys meet up at Gamescom? I'm not going to Gamescom. I considered it, and then I decided just no. As for other projects, like, I've talked to Steve about, like, flying out to the US to bench at the new GN office. Threadripper or something, or maybe the new Intel CPUs, like, really depends. But, yeah, so we definitely have plans for, like, stuff. It's just, like, none of it's really happening anytime soon, so... More? This is empty. This is almost empty. This thing's getting really thirsty. Actually, we can run while I refill. Oops. Wait, am I running Time Spy? Oh no. That's not gonna work. This card... That was less stable than before. Are you kidding me? Did I seriously max this pile of garbage out already? Way too much crap down here. Okay, whatever. Will this thing just not scale? I got, holy crap, 50 amps. Power connectors aren't getting warm. There's a fan blowing at them, it's not going to be an issue. Back of the core temperature is going way up. But like the idle temperature is still fine, so I don't think it's like the thermal paste failed or anything. It's crazy. And up we go. And it's running a minus 60 on the back of the core. Holy crap. Well, at least the capacitors are above operating temperature. Most capacitors are rated to like minus 55 minimum, so... At least those are happy. Okay, wait, I was gonna kill... what? Damn it. There. It should be a bit better. Hmm? Yeah, okay, so we're down because I was getting like 29k before. 651? Try a bit more memory clock. Can't believe I've already maxed out this thing. How much is it even running at? Let's just get GPU-Z running in the background. Max. Whoops. I think I'm gonna drop the cable extensions. .35 VCCSA on Ivy Bridge? Yeah, that's way too much. I had to try like anything between 0.95 and like 1.2. That's where I would try that. Thirsty little graphics card. I mean, it's not exactly little, but thirsty graphics card. Probably only running at like 2400. Not even, actually. It's probably only a little over 2300. No, 2417. Lame. We're gonna hit it with like... I don't know, I'll hit it with 1.6 and see what happens. You know, load core temperature is probably like as I said earlier in the stream, it's probably like halfway between whatever that reads and that. Because that's roughly what it is at like temperatures where the core temperature readout still works. It's roughly halfway between the two. So... yeah, this reading really, really high positive temperatures means the core is probably at like minus 120 or something. Okay, so it was running 2417. I don't know if that's like that's not really a respectable clock. What's the... I'm gonna just check HWBot. See what kinds of rankings they're doing. Yeah, look, XMP profiles on most memory modules are freaking stupid. Like, seriously. Like, I've seen on DDR4 they'll do like 1.35, 1.4 SA, which is just dumb as hell. Anyway. 1080 Ti. This is kind of like benchmarking FX CPUs. It's so uninvolved. Fire Strike. Right, so the world record for Firestrike is at like 2700, well no, the 1080 Ti record is at 2700 megahertz. So I'm like 300 megahertz down. And most people who ran LN2 seems to be running around 2500. So this thing is currently kinda sucking. So we gotta fix that. And I only know one way. I maybe should have actually bothered with the PLL voltage. Would have given me more toys to play with at the very least. Even if it ultimately didn't do anything. Up. It's hard to say if it's me or the card with a sample size of 1. Did I seriously max this junk out already? I take that as if we give it more V-core, it's probably going to run longer. Come on, you pile of junk. You can finish Firestrike. I can't even check how much current it's pulling. It crashes that quickly. Gotta be kidding me. We're only like at 2442. What are you doing, you piece of junk? We might have to drop the extension cables, though. They're definitely not helping. They might not be doing any harm, but they certainly aren't helping. This time I actually want to catch how much current it pulls. 60? Yeah, it goes up to like 65 amps and then blows up. Okay, we're gonna try get rid of the extension cables. Because these are probably 18 gauge, whereas the power supply cables are 16, so that might help a little bit, but I really doubt it. Like, if that makes much of a difference, I'm gonna be very, very surprised. Okay, junk. Now you're gonna get direct power. It's probably not gonna make any difference. Well, let me dream. Is the board being stupid now? Did the card cold boot bug? Yeah. Oh damn, the thing has a cold boot bug. Lovely, and we've hit it. Actually, wait, maybe it's just... Let's try this. I'm going to try boot on less voltage. I have a really cool little switch on the... Well, I showed that in the video, but there's a switch that I have to basically to drop the voltage. For memory, it actually straight up disables the modification, like you can see. Okay, yeah, so it actually won't boot at high V-core. That's interesting. And once it initializes, we can do... Has it initialized? Crash again? Oh no, the thing's boot looping for some reason. Oh well. Good job, junk. I do want to break 30,000 though, so I might end up bumping up the CPU clock, just... Well, not might, definitely I'll bump up the CPU clock. You know what, I think... Go back down to like 651. I'm gonna bump up the memory voltage. And we're going to try run more memory clock, because that should help the scores a bit. 700. Yeah, I know, I read the Kingpin 1080 Ti guide, so I'm aware that they go up to like 1.5 volts. I'm not there yet because I don't really want to find out how safe those voltage recommendations are. I'm getting the feeling that we're running way too much V-core at this point. Might help to back off a bit. Because the thing is like, if I just keep shoving more and more V-core into it, then this temperature on the back of the core is going to keep going up and up and up and up. And that's basically what causes the voltage rollover, is that you actually end up running so hot that all the extra voltage doesn't help. Okay, we're gonna back off a little bit. Don't crash, junk. Don't you dare crash. Yeah, minus 50 on the back. Like, damn, that thing is getting hot. I should have bothered with the PLL voltage. I really, really should have. It's hitting minus 40! And it's still running, so we know the thermal paste hasn't cracked. Holy freaking hell. Card spits fire. Like, I wonder if it would help to have, like, another rear LN2 pot to cool the core from behind. Because obviously it's producing so much heat that it's, like, dumping a ton of it through the rear. Like, I actually mentioned, I think I asked on some forum, and apparently somebody did try, like, LN2 pot sandwich, but the problem was if you cooled down the back of the core too much, then the actual capacitors stopped working, and your stability went to hell. But, like, this is going to minus 40, so it's like if you kept the back at, like, minus 60 instead of just letting it run away, could help. Also, sanding down the die might be a good idea. What the hell is with my combined score? Why is it always so trash? Yeah, just 2405. Okay. I'm gonna go refill the other thermos. Yeah, so it looks like I really need to take the 7940X cold with this junk, because it does not clock very high. I should have done the PLL. This is what I get for being lazy. The thing is like I very specifically like checked the 1080 Ti the Kingpin Edition guide, and it doesn't mention anything about changing the PLL voltage. So I guess that card just has the PLL voltage locked high. Ugh. $29K is already top 20. I want like top, wait, for what? Hardware bot or 3D Mark? Because I want to be like up there on those 3D Mark rankings. Globals. No, on a hardware bot, it's not top 20. There's a bunch of Titan Vs. Oh yeah, that's one of the things we were discussing with Steve, is that I'd bench his Titan V on LN2. Probably breaking it. Probably 3D Mark official rankings, I'm probably behind a bunch of stupid Titan Vs as well. Yeah. Yeah. I hate Titan Vs. The only reason I hate it is because I don't have one. Well, I'd be indifferent to its existence if I owned one. And as it stands, I absolutely hate the freaking thing, because it's just like pouring LN2 into a 1080 Ti and going nowhere. Yeah, my combined score is really trash. I'm going to try fix that later. Like, I want to dial in the card first. Well, as much as possible. It might be worth it to back off on the core voltage. And then work on the core clock for the CPU. If the thing is, I fully expect the 2080 Ti to be like $1,000, and I'm not buying it for $1,000. Because I don't have $1,000. I don't think I'll even, I don't think there's a single, NVIDIA GPU vendor that will, send me an NVIDIA card. So that's, another issue, is just, yeah, I can't exactly beg my way into having a 2080 Ti. Oh, now my combined came back up, but physics fell off a cliff. I love Firestrike. Look at that. See? Physics is down, combined is up. Screw you, benchmark. Screw you. Why you do this to me? Alright, we're still benching 2405. Alright, what happens if I change that? It shouldn't do anything, but because it doesn't have voltage control, but... Are these both empty? No, they aren't. Well, one of them is, so I'll refill it. Actually, you know what? Let's just take this stupid curve. Where is that? It's 248. Can I, flatten it out? Wait, I need to tweak every single one of you stupid points on it individually? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Is there no way just to, bump all of them? Do I have precision? Because I think precision, deals with this. And since I'm on an EVGA card, I should be able to use K-Boost. Are you kidding me? Oh. Nope. Wait, it won't let me open it? There we go, stupid freaking... K-Boost, force the graphic... Yay! That's what I... Please close below 3D applications, then... Okay. And... Awesome, so that reset the card. But now we have K-Boost engaged, so... 1809. So I assume if I run the render test, the clock is just gonna stay, yeah, rock steady. Awesome! Awesome, so that's actually exactly what I wanted. So... Let's see, GPU clock offset plus... 590? Does the dial's gonna run out of space if this goes any faster. Which it won't, but it would be kind of funny if it did. So we were already doing like 700, so I'm just gonna bump that. .430. Okay, that would be probably the fastest pass we've done. Give pulse. These are both good. Okay, well that now it's really upset. Put down a tad. I believe in you. Do you believe in me, GPU? Do you trust in LN2? I kinda do. Kills a lot of stuff. Can you greet me in Czech? I hate when people just out of the blue ask me to speak Czech, especially when I'm like on live streams. If you're on the if you're on the patron Discord, then you actually know that Actually, no, even if you're on, like, the r/overclocking Discord, you'd know, what's with the, we trust, in LN2 we trust. We're at 2417 megahertz right now. $24.17, that's like awful though. Wait, let's see. There, that should help the card. So the highest the highest current it pinged was like 65, 66 amps, and then it promptly crashed. So, a lot. How's the VRM doing? VRM heatsink is like slightly warm. And yes, I am Czech. And Combine is running like trash! Why? The world record is a 2700 megahertz core clock. So, you know, I'm doing really badly. Oh, and physics score is way up. Physics is way up there, but Combined is down the freaking drain. I can't have both at the same time, can you? Okay, let's try 1.6 one more time. $630, so $24.30. See if that passes. We're like 70 millivolts away from where this actually stops, in theory anyway. It might stop a little bit above 1.7. Yeah, the Buildzoid Edition doesn't have a heatsink. Heatsinks are for losers. You should run it with an LN2 pop. Man, this thing is like hellfire. Okay, so the capture card dropped out. I'm still seeing it's still running on my end. I don't think it crashed yet. It black screened, but I don't think it died. Okay, it should have finished right about now. Okay, I think the card actually straight up dropped out now. Did it? Okay, I'm gonna drop the core voltage because I think the card crashed. That should help it reset. Okay, so we're gonna have to reset the system. Because it wasn't running, like, you could see that this temperature was way too, like, negative. This was way too high, the LLC wasn't kicking in. And it probably... Yeah, it won't boot. So we can't boot at full voltage.